Hi, I'm here with Elena Sue of Shared Cultures. And what is Shared Cultures?
So we are a small fermentation business based in San Francisco, and we really specialize in fermenting seasonal produce into delicious misos using your beans.
That's so wild. And a lot of us think of miso for miso soup, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but there's a whole world of things you can do with it, especially when you have these different flavored ones, right?
Yeah. So for me, I like to, use them, on a piece of bread, like avocado toast in the morning. I like to actually use them. Like today, we'll be using them with some beans, but I like to actually mix the miso with some of the bean broth water to kind of make an instant sauce. But you can also cook pasta. Do the same thing with pasta as well. So really, miso is here to just give you an instant sauce to bind everything together.
Wild. So what are we going to do today?
Today we're going to be making a seasonal salad. Summer is finally here, and I went to the market earlier today and I found some amazing corn and tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. So corn, tomatoes, and I actually brought some basil as well. These are all things I think that everybody has access to, especially during the summertime. And then we're going to make a simple salad with the beans and the miso. So,
That sounds great.
yeah.
So in Mexico, they save what's this word for these? There's a word, the silk. The corn silk, and you make a tea out of it, and it's for lactating mothers or something in it.
I think they do that in China too.
Really?
Yeah. In the summertime, I love making salads because it's just so nice and refreshing on a hot day.
No, and it's one of those things too, if you've made your beans on Sunday night, you have beans throughout the week, and you can use them in salads and soups and that. And right when you can't stand them anymore, you make a dip, and it's like, oh, it's completely different. And actually, I think pureed beans and some of your miso would be a good thing, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, like hummus dips. Actually, especially when it's like when I get invited to parties, I'm always like a last minute, like, oh shoot, what am I gonna bring?
Right.
So I always get some chips, and I always have frozen beans in the freezer.
Perfect.
And then I like to blend them with some olive oil and some miso. Maybe I'll put some seasoning in there, and then I show up with an appetizer, dip, crudité dip. People are so happy with that. Some chips, some dip, and I'll put like some seasonal vegetables on the side, like carrots and cucumbers, things that I can whip up very easily. And people are happy with that.
Sure.
So while the corn is boiling, that's when I start getting my tomatoes out. I'm all about seasonal produce, and that's the biggest thing that we do with our business is we really try to ferment seasonally and work with local farmers. So for me, like every time I see the first of the season tomatoes, I always get so excited.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just actually put them into my bowl. So in this bowl we have some spinach. I don't know if that's helpful.
Beautiful.
Some spinach already and arugula, that's already in there. I'm just gonna cut all of these up. And then we're just gonna add the corn to the salad. And then we can start tossing it. I have olive oil, and I have some red wine vinegar, and then the tomato miso. I like to do a very easy, I call it the 1, 2, 3 method. It's something I made up myself. 1 tablespoon. So I like to start with 1 tablespoon of miso. And then I like to put that in here. And then I like to do 2 tablespoons of vinegar or some sort of acid, and then 3 tablespoons of olive oil.
Yeah.
And that's just my method, but if other people wanted, like you want more miso, you want more vinegar, you can play around with it. But I find like for me to do 1, 2, 3, it makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So that's kind of it. I mean, it really just took a few seconds, and then we're just gonna pour this in. And then I also brought some avocado that we can cut up as well, and some fresh basil to kind of top it off in the salad. But it's really, really simple. And actually, one trick that I almost forgot to mention is that with any of your beans, I actually like to save some of that bean water because it's full of nutrients, and also it's kind of starchy. And I like to actually pour the dressing into the beans. I should have just mixed everything in here to begin with.
No, it's good
to save a dish, but and then that way, while the beans are still kind of warm, it kind of absorbs all of that, absorbs all that flavor. And then the last step is just the avocado.
And also, I mean, I don't mean to be superficial, but look how pretty that is. But they are Domingo Rojo, which is our beautiful red bean, which actually is a great salad bean because it's, I don't want to say meaty, but it holds its own.
Yeah. Well,
Also, it's one of those beans, they make them in the store to sample. Every time I have them, I think, oh, I forgot I love this bean. Because it's not as sexy as like Christmas lima.
yeah.
You bean people know what I'm talking about. But
I've never had these beans before, so I'm excited to
good.
try. That's it. I mean, we can mix it up and we can kind of give it a taste.
All right.
So pretty simple. I mean, it shouldn't take more than 10 minutes to put this together, especially if you already have the beans kind of pre-cooked. I brought some basil. You know, people can add whatever herbs they want in their salad. You know, I had some lemon thyme yesterday in my salad, and that was delicious. But I always encourage people to add whatever you want to the salad dressing, whether it's like fresh ginger or garlic. You know, it's whatever you have at home. This recipe is good, I think, for, you know, 2 to 3 people.
Salady. It's perfect, too. You can taste the miso, plus the olive oil, and it's just acidic enough. That's a good ratio, I think.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, right? It's good. 1 tablespoon of miso, 2 of some sort of acid, and then 3 of the olive oil. And then with the bean water that we incorporated, it kind of just gets everything kind of going.
Yeah, I know they say don't overdress your salads, but I also underdressed salads don't do me either.
Yeah,
So
but I
this
think
is
this is
perfect.
really, like, you know, all the lettuce is coated, or I mean, all the spinach and the arugula is coated perfectly. Everything has dressing on it, but it's not like overwhelming, and you can taste the miso,
And
but not too much. Yeah.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I appreciate
I'm going to
it.
incorporate this and tell people it's mine. So, no, I won't. But
That's
I'll
okay.
always use shared
Thank
culture
you.
miso.
I
All right.
appreciate you. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. And try it out and let us know how it works.
Yeah.